Welcome to the Mold Safe Build channel. I'm Dr. Karen Curitin, toxic mold and nervous system healing expert. And in this video, I'm going to share a little bit about what this channel is all about and all the good stuff that is to come here. So this channel exists because of one core realization that I've come to through my own long personal journey with toxic mold exposure and also helping patients recover from mold illness. Most modern homes are not designed for human health. And more specifically, typical homes have a number of built-in weaknesses that predispose them to moisture issues that breed mold and eventually make the home toxic to all of its inhabitants. And that's exactly why I am now building a mold safe and non toxic home for my family and sharing that journey with you. So, this channel, I think you'll be interested in it if you have been harmed by toxic mold exposure yourself, or you suspect that your home might be contributing to your illness, or if you're curious about building a healthy home without the toxins and mold issues that tend to make people sick, or you just want to understand why mold toxicity has become such a widespread problem in modern housing. So, just a little disclaimer right off the bat, this channel is not about home remediation for mold issues, but there are some really great resources out there for that. And actually, when I looked around, there were a ton more resources for helping people with that than there were for actually building in a mold safe way. So, remediation is absolutely an option if your home is making you sick in most cases. And I've been through several remediations myself and had good outcomes from them. After each remediation, I was able to heal most of the way. And I've also helped many other people heal from mold illness who have remediated their home or simply moved to a better home. So please don't think that the message of this channel is that you have to build a home to get well. That's not my message. However, as I've learned more about why mold issues develop in homes, it has become clear to me that most modern homes are likely to develop multiple issues with mold growth over time. And that's just because of how they are designed and built. And that's exactly what's happened in both of the homes that I've owned so far. And frankly, I became exhausted and demoralized by how hard remediation was on me and my family, my finances, and my life. So, if you haven't watched the video where I share my full story with moldy housing and toxic mold illness, I will link to that at the end of this video. So, if you're curious to hear, how I got to this point, go check that video out. And while that was my experience of having homes that developed toxic mold in just my first few years living in them, and even when they started off as healthy homes, and having to go through multiple remediations myself, I've also had clients go through the same thing where they complete one expensive and exhausting remediation and their test results come back clean and everything looks good for a while and they heal significantly. And then at some point, their house develops another mold issue. So, after such a long saga with toxic mold exposures myself, I got to the point where I wanted a mold resistant home that was unlikely to make me sick again anytime soon or cause me to need many tens of thousands of dollars to fix the home and therefore my health. So, through this home build that I'm undertaking, I'm working to make that dream a reality, to provide myself, my family, and you with a path to more health stability, more financial stability, and more life stability. So, my motivation for building this mold safe home for my family is very personal. But the motivation for sharing that journey with the world is because I'm really passionate about helping other people affected by mold illness actually recover and stay well. And if you haven't heard me or someone else talk about it already, the first key to recovery is to not be exposed to high levels of growing mold and mycotoxins in the place where you live or where you work. It's just the foundation because what mold does is it creates these toxins that are really poisons for our body and cause all kinds of issues, imbalances, damage, etc. And honestly, my journey with helping people heal from mold, the hardest part of that has been to help them find healthy housing. And that was the hardest part of my journey as well. So if this channel can help even a few more people create long-term healthy housing for themselves, then it will have been worth it. I also want to say that this channel is not about building a single perfect house that you should model exactly. No house is perfect, and we're just aiming to build a much healthier home than the norm. And there are a lot of different ways to do that. We've done a lot of research and we've talked to experts, and we are doing it in the way that makes the most sense to us. But that may not be what works for you. I'm sure that many people will see this house and say, well, that wouldn't work for me. Of course, the decisions we make for our own house won't necessarily be the right choices for you, depending on the climate that you want to build in, the specific piece of land that you have to build on, and your family's needs. All those things will make a difference in how you want to build your home. But I think many parts of the process and many of the materials that we choose to work with may still be applicable in your situation. And so I hope that this channel's contents provides you with ideas and some education and a lot of inspiration. The main focus of this channel is really going to be documenting our approach and process to building a home that actively resists moisture trapping and mold growth, that uses materials that don't naturally support microbial growth, a building that dries effectively even when moisture is introduced, and supports healthy indoor air from day one and for many decades to come. And just generally a very durable structure that is designed to last a very long time. Every decision we're making is intentional and being made with the help of experts in healthy home building and construction. And since this is our first time building a home, and not just any home, but an unconventional mold safe home, I thought that it might really help others out there to get a sense of what's really involved, what steps we had to take to get to the finish line. Um, because I know that going into building a home or even a small, ADU can be a daunting process if you've never been through it before. You don't even know where to start, and, you're already sick. If you're already sick, trying to figure all of that out can feel really overwhelming. So, here are some of the things I hope to share on this channel. What I've learned about why common building materials and assemblies tend to fail from a moisture and mold perspective, what it's like to live in an RV while building your home. Yeah, I know some of you have been curious about mold avoidance via RV living, and so I can share at least what our experience has been with that to help inform your decision about whether you're going to give that a try. I'm also going to share our build process as much as I can think to share with you about everything from site selection to our design process, working with architects and builders and healthy home consultants, all the way through the completion of the house. I hope to share some video footage of our actual build as it's taking place, what materials and design choices we are making to make it a more mold safe, durable, non-toxic home. I'm going to share our real world costs of this build, um, and also our mistakes, things we had to correct, lessons we learned along the way, so that hopefully you don't make those as well. And we'll see if this ends up happening, but I also hope to interview experts in mold safe home design and building and materials so that you actually get to hear from the people that really know what they're doing in this field and have been doing this for a very long time, about the kinds of things that you need to consider if you're going to consider building something yourself. And then I hope to also be able to test this home on a regular basis and share those test results with you as a proof of concept that this actually has provided a mold safe environment for us over a longer period of time. And I hope that sharing all of this makes building a mold safe home for your family feel more doable, if that's a dream of yours. And maybe together If we demand better from the broken building industry, we can change it. If enough of us demand higher standards, then maybe we can make healthy homes more the norm. I also want to acknowledge that I know not everyone is going to want to build or be able to build their own mold safe home. But what you learn from this channel, I hope could also make it possible for you to build a simple DIY one room mold safe healing space in your backyard. If that is what's achievable for you, I think that what you learn here is going to make that very doable as well. Actually, the wall system that we're using for the structure is super easy to DIY. And actually, we may DIY the walls of our build. So if that happens, you'll get to see exactly how that goes for us. I also hope that this project can eventually inspire and fund the building of mold safe rentals for those who can't build for themselves, right? I think that that is also essential to changing this whole issue we're having with people being mold sick in their homes because, of course, it's never going to be the case that everybody owns a home. And so we need this to translate into the the rental properties as well. And I would personally love to be involved in that project because I know how desperately needed those are. And hopefully this house provides the proof of concept that allows those rentals to be built. And if there is some organization out there that can even provide some of those rentals at a reduced rate through being a nonprofit or having a lot of big funding sources, that would even be better. So that's a dream that I have, and we'll see if this project helps something like that come to life. So, if this journey of following our home build and learning about the process resonates with you, subscribe to this channel. Hit that subscribe button now and follow along. And please also leave a comment below letting me know that this is interesting to you, that you're excited about it. Maybe tell me what you would most like to learn in the process. I'll definitely be reading those comments and it will keep me motivated to keep making these videos to know that you're out there and this is useful to you. You can also join my email list below where you can be notified by email when I publish new videos. If you know somebody else who really needs a mold safe home or would be interested in learning about what it would be like to build one, please share this channel with them. So many people out there are so sick and struggling to find a way out of that cycle of mold illness. And so I just want this channel to reach as many of those people as it possibly can. So share it around with whoever needs it. And finally, if you are mold sick and needing expert guidance on how to get your health back, you can click the link below to apply to work with me. My spots are limited, but I try to help as many people as I can who are in that boat. And I'm also working on a YouTube channel focused on how to heal from toxic mold illness, and the link for that will be below as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.